A Big Justice.
Yeah, Daddy? Daddy?
You know what's better than a double chunk chocolate?
What, Daddy?
A pair of iongaf undies.
How does a clothing brand posting this gain 41.7 thousand followers? I think I need to check this out for my next brand breakdown.
Brand's called iongaf, and it's definitely the strangest one I've reviewed up until this point. It was started by a guy called Wang, and it's all about normalizing niche.
We have our slogan of normalizing niche, and we look to normalize niche, meaning whatever you want to do. If it's like being a fucking furry or you want to be a doctor, no matter who says anything about it, at the end of the day, it's your life. So you should look to normalize whatever your niche is.
So in this video, I'm going to be analyzing this content strategy that's made the iongaf brand the cult following that it has. Just check this out. Guys in undies in the middle of a park. That is what we call a cult following. Where are you from, Ricky? Are you from LA? You were born there?
I was born in Indiana, and then I was living in LA for a year, but I actually just moved back to OC.
How did we get to this point where you've now got a clothing brand and fashion is your whole deal?
My background's in graphic design, and I just love Adobe Illustrator. I was like, why don't I just thrift t-shirts and heat press my designs on those thrifted tees? I can only do so many tees because I'm doing everything by hand. And people started asking for customs, and I thought that was really cool. And that's where the idea of iongaf was born. I just ended up making it on one of the tees. And so I just started making videos about clothing, and then I was extremely controversial. And we're getting more into physical communities because the only thing that empowers me is community and art.
Why is community so important to you?
I care about community because I don't think anything actually matters in life. And the only reason we think things matter is because of human ego and also just other humans confirming that that is valid. And in a world where you think nothing matters, I think the only thing that really doesn't matter is the things that don't actually matter, which is art, sharing that experience with other people that are also just going to live and die and not be remembered by their own grandkids.
Ricky, what is iongaf?
So iongaf stands for I don't give a fuck. And we have our slogan of normalizing niche. And we look to normalize niche in all aspects of art and hopefully life eventually. And we look to normalize niche, meaning whatever you want to do. If it's like being a fucking furry or you want to be a doctor, no matter who says anything about it, at the end of the day, it's your life. So you should look to normalize whatever your niche is.
I imagine it comes through all of the different content that you post as well.
For sure.
Yeah. There's a few different ones I want to look at. And of course, the ones you sent me. I've saved this bad boy because this is some gold right here.
So basically this kid, he's a fan. He's a big fan. He was DMing me of him in the product, and he was just like a 16-year-old, and he was just trolling me, honestly. And yeah, they just ended up making this edit for me. And we hadn't dropped clothing that year because we were restructuring up until May 1st. So for the first 4 months of 2024, we made no money. We were completely restructuring. And that was the first thing to drop. And it did super normal statistically. And then like a week later, it just like, I don't know, it just like blew up for no reason.
Why did it blow up?
I mean, I'm assuming because, one, I think the retention from the intro is really good because I'm pretty sure that's an intro that a lot of people have used in the past for skate videos, I believe. And then they saw the iongaf word, and then I think they're curious, and then they just see a Roblox girl sucking a Roblox dude's dick. And I just think the retention to keep watching is insane. The edit is very basic. It's literally just text on a screen with like shortcuts, like anyone could do it. I was simply just directing. So they would send me drafts, they would send me certain clips, and I would be like, I kind of like this clip, but let's maybe alter it, or this clip is golden, this clip is bad. Let's see how we can put filler in it. And then we just kept revising it. It wasn't too bad. It was like maybe 4 or 5 revisions once we had all the clips together. And then we were like, it's good.
And when you say you were directing and there were revisions, what kind of things specifically were you revising, and what was kind of like the vision or the end goal? Because it's a meme. Like, how many revisions can there be?
I think to classify this as a meme for sure is appropriate, but at the end of the day, it is a grid post that I feel very sincere about. I'm very serious about all of our grid posts. So it's like, for example, the clip where he's riding the rail was actually the initial introduction clip. Right there, that's playing right now. And I just didn't feel that it was strong enough for the first clip to happen after the intro. So then we ended up introducing that blowjob scene just because I thought it was so grotesque visually that it would immediately force the viewer to not click out of it. And it wasn't necessarily so much about one particular thing. It's just like maybe the framing on this clip wasn't the best, or maybe the timing to the song wasn't the best. It's a fairly simple video. I think to say it's such a director role is honestly kind of overwhelming or exaggeratory. It's pretty chill.
There is so much thought that went into this. While it's playing, tell me about the hook. What are you thinking about when you're making a hook like this? It's a world, iongaf, Bandicam. Like what is this doing in the mind of a viewer?
So I think specific to the intro, I can't take full credit because at the end of the day, it's a creative collaboration. They had actually introduced that intro with the Bandicam to me, and I thought it was really strong and appropriate to like that world that we were building in iongaf, which is essentially like a GTA vibe in a kid's game. It was really just more of an organization of clips and also how the clips meshed well with the beat. I think to elaborate on this video any further would really just be an over exaggeration. It really was just something generally chill, but it was well thought out.
Over analysis, right?
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, awesome. Dude, you mentioned the high production video. Should we look at that one?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to.
Oh. It's so surreal. What is going on here? What is this video about?
So we followed an exclusivity model last year in 2024, and we would drop it in singular products. Very similar to Supreme, but we just don't have the budget to do collections every week. So we would do singular products.
Gotcha.
So the website was built to get on and get the fuck out. So it was a 2-page website. You literally see the product, you click add to cart right now, and then you check out. It automatically takes you to checkout because there only is one product. So we wanted to do a collection in 2024. So we were trying to figure out how to do that, both with website constrictions and with the marketing shoot. So what we ended up coming up with was we were going to sell 9 different SKUs, and you could only buy that one SKU for 5 minutes. So from 12 p.m. to 12:45 p.m., like 12:50 p.m., you would have 5 minutes to buy each one. And so the marketing shoot kind of came born from that, where when you wake up and you click snooze, you kind of keep clicking snooze because you really want to stay in bed. And you want to keep staying on every 5 minutes on the website to wait for the next SKU that comes in. So then that's where we came up with this dream sequence video where theoretically every 5 minutes, the main character, his name is Bake, is in a new dream because he keeps hitting his snooze and going back into this dream world.
I've been fucking established for a year now.
That's really cool. Did you come up with that? Like the whole concept of selling things 5 minutes and 5 minutes apart.
So I want to give credit where credit is due. I usually co-direct with my homie Ty, but he honestly took more of a directing role in this. The concept was born from my head that I had come up with. There's so many things that are involved in order to make it real that might adapt or change based on the initial concept. So it was me and Ty. Like I would honestly have them on his meeting just to explain this video to really give credit where credit is due.
Yeah. And where do you spend most of the money on a $50,000 shoot?
Yeah, obviously, I generally think there's not anything specific. It's just this shoot was so massive. It's 44 hours on set, I believe, 4 days in a row of shooting. And it was just like a team of, I want to say, like 15 to 20 people. It was just a grind. And like you can see right now in this bald scene, that took like 3 hours for like it's like 1.5, 2 second shot. So it went everywhere. I can't even really say where it got allocated. It was an insane project.
But it's also wild to think that is someone's salary, like for a whole year in another sense.
I guess so. I'm so numb to money because I just really don't give a fuck about it that I honestly forget how much the value of it is. So I don't really think about it like that. But yeah, it is. I'm blessed.
I like that, Ricky. I like that.
What's the why?
Tell me how this video relates to the concept of normalizing niche, as is your brand tagline.
So originally at this time, normalizing niche was still something that was kind of being built, and I was trying to really figure out what normalizing niche was. So I think to sell 9 products for only 5 minutes each and to invest $50,000 into just one Instagram grid post, I would say is a surface level of normalizing niche.
Yeah. And the video itself, like the story itself, does that have anything to do with the concept of normalizing niche?
I would say we were trying to encapsulate what I saw as the iongaf universe in these dream sequences. I wouldn't necessarily say the slogan of normalizing niche was incredibly prevalent in all aspects of the creative, just because we hadn't fully fleshed it out quite yet at that point.
Excuse me? The why, what's why? Wij zijn best gevestigd. What? Did you wipe?
Snooze a dream sequence. Right. Yeah. What have you learned about storytelling through creating content like this that someone watching this video that also has a clothing brand could take away and apply to their own campaign?
So first, you should do whatever your heart and feelings and whatever your art is that you desire. You should just do it without any remorse or consideration of others' opinions that you don't want to consider. Going into more of the like black and white storyline, we're a startup, things are honestly pretty like ratchet, like we do things on a whim and sometimes things are more feelings based. So it's not like we're sitting here storyboarding and getting really into the details. We just fucking did it. And sometimes you look back on it and you're like, damn, I wish I did this thing differently. But you have to do the thing in order to look back on it and say you would do it differently. I think that's really the best piece of advice in general. You just do it.
What do you wish you did differently about this shoot?
I think I don't really focus on the things that we could or couldn't have changed, because at the end of the day, art doesn't actually fucking matter. And I'm sure there's things that I learned from this shoot that I'm going to take with me as I go into the next one. Maybe let's say regarding budget or how big the crew should have been or how I should have navigated a politic with a certain crew member. But I don't think it's anything specific.
And in this video, is there a particular shot or scene that was harder than all of the others?
Honestly, every scene was a bitch, which I love. I say that in the best way possible. Maybe the first scene with boxing, because it's so short, but it took so long because we rented out a boxing gym. Every single boxing gym is going to have mirrors. Mirrors is every videographer project's like worst nightmare. So we had to cover every single mirror, and the lighting's obviously like a whole setup because you're in this huge boxing ring and it's 2 people, and we have to choreograph people that don't box to box together. And like, it was just a whole thing. And it's like literally 2 or 3 seconds, but that was honestly every single shot. I would even say the shot with the hot dogs was also crazy logistically because a mariachi band came in that don't really speak English and they don't really understand what the fuck is going on. And the owner of the restaurant is sitting there, who's from, I believe, Cambodia, who doesn't also speak English. And we're organizing everything for that and clearing out the restaurant. And it's just like it was just a crazy feat.
And how did you get connected with the restaurant, rent out the gym, and find your actors and all the other people that were in the crew and involved behind the camera? How did you get them on board? How did you find them?
So I think if this question is angled to someone that wants to do that hasn't done this before, you just fucking do it. Back then, $50K, theoretically, we could have just hired casting directors, things like that, but we weren't connected enough. We didn't know, which is maybe similar to someone that's watching this. So for us, we literally just drove to random places and we talked to them. We asked them how they would feel about it. We would follow up on email. We would just keep bothering them until someone said yes.
Yeah. It's funny you say like you laid out that simple, and I guess it comes from having done it, but I think a lot of people get so caught up on the idea that I can't do that because I've never done it before, so I'm not even going to try and ask anyone whether I can use their set for my next film. And so I think it's really encouraging to hear it's as simple as going, asking, and then doing it. I feel like I'm missing one, maybe in the Reels tab. Let me see if I am.
Let's go to that one that's in the middle of the screen right now with the people's butts.
Yeah, all right, let's watch through it.
iongaf. Tony. iongaf. Tony. iongaf.
Subway Surfers?
Yes.
So what is this video about, Ricky?
So we gave 3,000 free chonies meaning underwear, on Thanksgiving Day, just to like give back to the community and say thank you. So this was a community casting. So these are literally all fans of the brand, our audience. They got there and I was just like, we got to do this, boys. And we did it. It was like 2-3 hours. This was our largest community casting. It was 25 people. And it was quite a feat to the directing challenge here was organizing 25 people on the day of set with no practice or anything and to get them all in unison as much as possible in the heat.
So how did you do it?
I just whipped them up into shape, man. I was like, listen, you're here for a reason. Don't waste my time and don't waste everyone else's time. So get this shit right. We practiced it until we got it good. Took maybe 10 minutes. And then we just kept doing shots until I felt good. And then I gave them all free product at the end.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like a really fun day. I want you to walk me through the process of how did you announce it originally to your community and then begin to take in applications? What was that process?
For sure, Elijah. I'd love to go through that. So we have our Instagram. We posted on the story. We said, yo, we're doing a community casting. We showed the email. They emailed us. My chief of operations went through and filtered who would be the best. My assistant had coordinated times for where they're supposed to show up and how things are going to go. We had already been there for an hour setting up. We had this like inflatable undie that you see in the back that we manufactured. It cost a hell of a lot of money. And obviously we were setting the shot up, making sure that it was good. I was just like literally looking at the shot on my iPhone, making sure that the lighting was going to be chill. It was ready by the time all the talent arrived. I gave them a little bit of a speech about what we were doing and we got it done. And then I gave them a speech at the end to say my thank you. And they all got a free 100% off discount code for any product they wanted for the rest of the year.
That's awesome. When you reached out, how many followers did you have at that time? Or even if you know how many story views you were averaging?
Honestly, don't know. We were probably like 30K something. Story views is like anywhere between 10 to 25K usually.
And how many applications were there to go through to get 25 real vetted, verified people there on the day?
It was maybe like 100 something.
Right. So 25% of your applicants were viable enough. What kind of effect have these like community / storytelling videos had on the brand? Because of course it would be a lot cheaper for you to just shoot flat lays of your underwear product, or it would be a lot cheaper just to do like a model shoot.
I mean, I can sit here and say like what I think it might be doing to benefit the company as a whole, but like honestly, that would just be an assumption because like I don't really care. I just think it was fun to do. Like I just got to meet up with a bunch of people that support me and they were willing to do this for free. I mean, obviously we gave them free product, but like they're just real human beings that wanted to come do it and we did it. And that was literally all I saw it as. I didn't really see how it would benefit company anything. I just thought it was fun.
And like, this is how you enjoy your work.
It's just people, man. And we're making fucking art. Like who just gets 25 random people in their underwear and then just film some shit and then give away 3,000 free undies? Like, I don't know. It's just funny. That's literally it. Even though it sounds like a very surface level answer, it's all about just community.
Yeah, that is really fun. And I think I really appreciate that about you, Ricky, because the intent here is so pure. It's just for the love of community. I love that for you. I love that for your community. I love that for your brand.
Thanks, Elijah.
Look at this. Me explained to my mom that it was an iron gaff shoot, not a humiliation ritual.
Yeah. I think that was one of the people in the video.
That's so funny. Okay. All right. Let's do this one. What's the video about, Ricky?
So we dropped this bag called the Bobo bag, which is inspired by hobo bags. We decided to make an animation with our mascot, Deshea. And the whole premise of the video is basically that conductor Deshea is fooling around on the job as always. So then because he's not paying attention, Bobo bag ends up eating his entire train. And now he's probably going to get fired when he gets back to the station. I have an artist named Ian, and all credit goes to him. Ian was there grinding every day on each frame because it is an animation. It's very complex, very time inducing, and he did a great job. He killed it.
So did he make this from scratch?
Yeah, everything's made from scratch. Ian is so talented, so hardworking. He's awesome.
How many team members, who are the people behind the scenes that we don't see or we don't even recognize in this process?
Regarding to the team and how things kind of work, is really just I had this idea for an animation. I proposed it to Ian, and I think I had somewhat of a rough concept. We would just talk it out, and we'd keep making steps forward, and then we started storyboarding, and then we started building the backgrounds, and then we have fine details that maybe never existed until the very end.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear your mind, Ricky, about visual identity. Nearly everything we've seen so far is in a different style. What is your mind as it relates to visual identity and having one?
I feel passionate that visual identity and marketing shouldn't be consistent, at least within the company of iongaf, because we don't give a fuck and we're here to normalize niche in all aspects of creativity. So I don't want to feel limited in any regard, and I want to do any art that I or maybe someone from the team feels is good. I would even say, like, I think in every single aspect, iongaf does not give a fuck so much. We give a fuck about not giving a fuck, because obviously we're not sitting there, you know, trying to whip out dog shit and like profit as much as possible from people or whatever. We care about everything, but we care about not caring.
That's a really interesting way to put it. I'm curious about your character, Deshea. How did you craft this character? What's it inspired by? And why do you even have a mascot for your brand?
Honestly, to umbrella answer, in short, I don't know. So to give a little bit of explanation of what's going on. So first, his name is Deshea because of some random old company lore. We currently have the Instagram handle iongaf.xyz, which is our website domain. But I really wanted the handle iongaf, which this random mom has, and we follow her. We only follow 2 people, and one of them is her, and her name is Deshea. And so we would DM back and forth, and she would basically just troll me. And she would talk about how like she wants $1 million for the handle. And so she was just like not wanting to give it up at all. And eventually I was just like, my revenge to Deshea was to make her the mascot of iongaf. So then we started playing with the idea of a mascot. I think a mascot's really cool to have because it's sort of like a fictional character that real people can feel identity with. And we can manipulate the mascot in any way, like artistically or like what kind of scene that character might be in. Deshea is supposed to be anyone and everyone because Deshea normalizes niche and anyone can normalize niche. So anyone is Deshea.
And if you had to break down 5 major qualities of Deshea as a representation of your ideal customers, what are those 5 qualities?
Honestly, I'm gonna do some like contrasting thing. It's really just like feeling comfortable with being uncomfortable, caring about not caring, being yourself, boyhood. I don't know. I can't come up with a 5th one right now, but I think that sums it up.
Yeah. I like it. Can you expand on that thought that having a mascot brings this emotional connection?
Yeah, for sure. It's just basically if you have this fictional character as your mascot, you can pretty much do whatever you want with the mascot because there are no limitations in the digital world, and it's a fictional character that doesn't exist. So we can build Deshea however we want, however he looks, whatever situation he's in, and he can do whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, it goes back to those root principles that we were talking about that I think the customers can really relate to.
So tell me about the website then.
So basically it's a reiteration. I've probably done like, I want to say 8 website reiterations. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars back into the website because it's just such a fun way of expressing the portfolio of the company. Basically, we have 3 different states of the website. So right now is the homepage where every single word that you see is a different product that we're currently selling. And the 3 different states are the timer, where you're waiting for the product to go live, when the product is live, and after the product is sold out. And we also have a whole play on sound and music. And there's actually a game in here called Punch Deshea. Deshea is the name of our mascot. Product needs to be at a timer, like it hasn't launched yet for you to play the game. And the game was designed where if you're like 10 minutes before launch, in order to get the customer to stay on the website, they can just play the game in like stim, basically, kind of like TikTok scrolling, so they don't leave the website and they can just wait for it to go live. But I currently don't have any products that are, because we're trying to make an app out of that, so it's like user testing, but also serves the purpose that I just said.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so tell me where to go from here.
So if you can click on any product and I can kind of elaborate on it.
All right. I mean, let's do the chonies because that's what we're looking at.
Cool. So the chonies are obviously live right now, so you can just add it to bag. And then the size guides and product info are all dynamic with the entire hub that we built. And there's an infinite scroll for the product wheel. Like everything is designed for user stim, because that's kind of what our target market is like. They're like high school, college student that is on social media. But then if you go to something that's sold out, for example, Bobo bag or Zippy, that goes to our animation with our mascot Deshea. And if you click on each button, it goes into a different state. So if you click, what do I do now? This is a Deshea getting even more impatient that he has to pee. And if you were to sign up with an email, then it shows the final stage of the animation. I think you're going to have to put it in an email to see, Elijah.
All right. I think we're going to have to do it
put
too.
Something fake if you don't want to show that on the video. But if you go back to Save Deshea to see the animation, Deshea finally gets to pee. You help save Deshea from pissing his pants, or his chonies, I should say.
Oh my goodness. And now I have you in my inbox.
Correct. I will be hitting your line.
That is epic. You clearly have a very clear understanding of who your target customer is. Did that come about over time? Did you have an understanding of this right from day one? And was the process more intuitive as you go, or was it very intentional? Let's sit down and write out a target customer. How does that look?
I don't think I've ever sat down and wrote something logistically that was like, oh, this is what we're trying to achieve. I just had I have a really big audience on social media, and I have like fans and stuff. So I kind of already knew what they're like or what they might look like or whatever. So it was generally easy to translate. But I will say in the future steps of the company, as it increases in size, that we're trying to mature the audience a bit more, I would say, in an iongaf way still, in that, super chaotic, boyhoodish way.
How do you do that?
Honestly, man, I couldn't tell you. If I had the answer right now, I'm sure we'd be the biggest company in the world, but we're trying. I mean, we do the high fashion editorial. We've upgraded the website, and the things that we post, I think, are a lot more official compared to what is now archived on the Instagram. We've just gotten a lot more official.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude, this is great. Thank you so much, Ricky. This is
Thank
like,
you,
for you to
Alexa.
break this down is so very generous of you. And I've learned a lot about your brand today, dude. And can you shed any light on what the next campaign is? Is there any teasers you can give?
For sure. So it's called Malaho. It's a combination of mahalo and aloha, I think. I don't even know. We made it up. But it's exploring the different feelings and associations of summer. And we're making a 5-episode TV show with a 5-song EP soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. It's pretty
All
weird.
right. Yeah, dude. Anything for me before you would enjoy the rest of your afternoon?
I don't think so, dude. I really appreciate the opportunity. I think it was fun. It was sick.
Yeah.
Great host. You should keep doing it.
Thank you so much. All right, bro. Let's stay in touch, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Elijah.
Yeah.